Neo-Lamarckism, the concepts and theories regarding the origin and evolution of organisms so far discussed are not totally satisfied. Theories which are accepted today may be wrong tomorrow, and many of the concepts and theories are modified and changed after deeper researches have been carried out in course of time. Similarly, the theories of Lamarckism and Darwinism have been discussed by many scientists, and the shortcomings are shown and improved. We shall now discuss the new developed theories of Lamarckism and Darwinism. Lamarckism, also known as the theory of inheritance of acquired characters, can be defined as the changes in structure or function of any organ occur during the lifetime of an individual in response to changes in the environmental surroundings. This is inherited by its offspring and keeps on adding up over a period of time. The changes are because of use and disuse as demanded by the environmental pressure. Lamarckism has many drawbacks. This is evident from the experiments carried out by Weismann, in which he mutilated the tails of white rats and mated them, but found no loss of tail in succeeding generations. Muller experimented the role of X-rays in producing heritable variations in Drosophila. That revealed the changes in the chromosome structure. Likewise, C. Auerbach, in collaboration with Robinson and Carr, produced heritable changes in Drosophila by using a chemical mutagen, master gas. Limitations of Lamarckism, as were shown by many researchers, led to the formation of a new school of thought that support evidences in support of Lamarckism. Thus, Neo-Lamarckians prove that, number 1, germ cells are influenced by the environmental changes. Number 2, germ cells may carry acquired or somatic variations to the offspring. Number 3, germ cells may be affected directly by the environmental pressures. Number 4, somatic traits are the product of nature and nurture, that is, genes and environment interaction. This infers that environment affects the gene expression of organisms. Thus, we have seen that the difference in viewpoint of Lamarckism and Neo-Lamarckism was that Lamarck believed in the direct action of environment, which he thought was responsible for achieving that perfection of the individual. Neo-Lamarckians modified the concept. They are of the view that a considerable time period is required to act up to the level of germ cells that produce visible and invisible traits. The theory of natural selection, or Darwinism, is a breakthrough in the history of evolution. According to this theory, in a species, there are individuals that differ genetically from one another, as a result of which their ability to adapt and survive to different environments differs. Nature is the causative force that sorts out bad adapted ones, replaced by base, and their progeny is spread. In this course of nature's scrutiny, the traits that change and adapted are selected by nature and the bad ones screened out. However, Darwinism also has certain drawbacks. He did not know the mechanism of inheritance. He laid emphasis on individual variation and lacked clarity in accounting the sources of variation and ignored the role of recombination. This led to the formation of a new school of thought in the middle of the 20th century by combining all sources of knowledge from genetics, paleontology, ecology, and others. Edward O. Dodson and David J. Merrill called this new theory of evolution is Neo-Darwinism. The new concept of evolution is the product of two rival camps of thought, one supporting the traditional Darwinian view, centering around natural selection as a key role player of evolution, and the second camp centering around the central role of mutation and a whole new branches of science. The synthesis of these two camps led to the formation of modern synthetic theory of evolution. Therefore, the theory has two stages of process: natural selection In order to understand the modern concept of evolution, one has evolution as a change in allele frequency from one generation to the next. It may be mentioned that alleles are the alternative forms of genes that occurs at the same locus. The synthetic theory considers evolution to be the result of changes in the gene frequencies of populations that produces variation. Following are the important factors of modern synthetic theory of evolution. Number one factor, As a result, blood group and other genetic traits of the donkeys are genetically drifted away from the parental population donkeys in Germany. Factor number 4, gene flow. Gene flow is a process by which genes from one gene pool or populations of a species may be brought into another population. Since these flowed genes differ from their initial frequency, they produce changes in the gene pool which receives them. Such changes occur through migration and hybridization. The next topic is difference between Darwinism and Neo-Darwinism. Let's try to see how Neo-Darwinism and Darwinism differs. Number 1 point of difference. Unit of evolution is a population, not species, as is mentioned in Darwinism, because species are subdivided into local populations. Number 2, it is the gene pool of the population that evolves and not the individual level. Number 3, differences among individuals in a population are the consequences from accumulation of mutations and a recombination of genes due to independent assortment, crossing over, and fertilization. These reasons of variations are not known to Darwin. Understanding of modern theory of evolution needs knowledge of molecular genetics. Students shall attempt to know the basic knowledge of it, without which they will face handicap in understanding the theory.